Hey guys, this is All Things Cheryl here to do the review and recap of Queen Sugar. They came back and it's a lot of stuff that's getting ready to jump off. Let's get started now. Of course, as you know, Aunt is basically getting ready to go on a joyride. And when I say a joyride, she's getting ready to um maybe perhaps go into business with the gentleman who has her pies in one of his stores. I don't know whether or not if it's several stores, but I do know that we basically find out that Aunt B did basically make the deal. She didn't really close the deal, but she was at home reading the contract, and come to find out it looks like it's, to me, it's not an equal contract. And this is basically what she says: it's not an equal contract. It's like they want to take 60% and basically give her 40%. And so she was basically talking to Hollywood, about this. And she's like, I don't think I'm going to take this deal. I think I'm going to try to see if I can get another deal and basically do my own thing, have my own shop where I don't have to somewhat do the middleman. So we also know that Aunt Violet is also 59, and basically she's getting ready to turn 60. And guess who shows up for her 60th birthday? Hollywood's mother. Well, it seems that Hollywood's mother basically has a, I don't want to say a vendetta. I don't want to say she kind of sort of is for Aunt Violet, but she's really for her son. And so to kind of show her, her love and the fact that she's turning 60, she comes to celebrate. And apparently there used to be something that basically was going on with Hollywood mother. She's not in favor of Hollywood basically marrying an older woman. She had the conversation with Hollywood and told Hollywood that he need to really think about himself, knowing that he's not going to be able to become a father. Hollywood says that he's basically good with that. And so we get a chance to meet Hollywood's mother. Now we also, it seems like this week, because we was off last week, it seems like the storyline is basically centered around Hollywood and Aunt Violet and her turning 60 years old. And it's beginning to heat up a little bit. Hollywood basically had a gift for Aunt Violet, and he basically gave her a box. She opened up the box, kind of want to see what's in the box. There was nothing in the box. And Howard told Aunt Violet that whatever you want, what we can do is that we're going to put it in the box for you. So we go on throughout the night. We find out that something is really going down. Um, the investigator that's basically is helping out Charlie to find out a little bit more as to what's going on with the Landrier. And it seems to be, it's a big mess. I'm not going to get into it a little bit more. Jacob arrives on the scene, and we see that Charlie is basically chilling out, reading the newspaper. Headline story is, of course, is about her ex cheating husband, Davis. Jacob arrives in the restaurant where Charlie was basically sitting, kind of chilling, and he comes up to her and asks her that he would basically like to take her out to dinner. And I like what Charlie, basically told Jacob, says, look, I like you. I think you cool and everything, but right now, why don't we just keep this as a working relationship? In the meantime, we also noticed while Charlie was in the restaurant, kind of composing herself, she pulls out the telephone number of the young fellow, forgot his name, of the young fellow that she met when her and Ralph Angel hung out together. So apparently she's gonna see what this is looking like. Excuse me, one guy. I'm gonna cut on some lights. It's kind of dim and it's kind of cloudy. I'm gonna cut on the light. I'll be right back. Sorry. Okay, that's a little bit better. Um, and so sorry for that. We go on and we see that this is going to be very, very interesting. Hollywood, we getting back on Hollywood. Hollywood throws a surprise birthday party for Aunt Violet, and everybody is basically there. I'm really, really good to see that Kiki is kind of sort of back in the storyline again. We see that Kiki and Michael was basically in his bedroom. I don't know, his bedroom or a bedroom. And Violet noticed that the door was closed, and of course they Micah and Kiki was having an intimate moment, and so Aunt Vi comes in and she says, oh no, we're not having none of this, closed door, open up the closed doors, and you guys need to come up out of this bedroom and join us where the party is. And so we basically see Kiki and Micah together, which is pretty good. I'm finding it's very interesting because Micah's new friends basically called and asked him what was he doing and would he like to kind of sort of hang out with them. And he asked Kiki is basically did she wanted to go, because apparently Micah really wanted to go and go hang out with his new friends. And so we had a little conversation with Kiki and Michael, and Michael asked her, well, weren't they your friends at one time or another? And Kiki says, yeah, they are my friends, but the way they look at things and the way they handle things is totally different. Um, Life moves on. And so Michael really wanted to lead his auntie's birthday party, but Kiki told him, no, let's just kind of sort of hang out here with your aunt. And I think that was a really, really good move on her part, due to the fact that she is friends of the little act up crew, but she's not. And so she was able to get Michael not to join them this time around. And so we also go on to the fact that we see that Darla. Darla is really, really looking good these days. I mean, she's not looking frail. She's looking really healthy. And we see on the other part of town, we see that Darla has a bedroom for Blue. She's been basically painting, and she bought tickets for her and Blue to basically hang out at the museum, and come to find out that Blue will not be hanging out with Darla this weekend. It's because it's Aunt Violet's birthday party, and we know that Aunt Violet is going to want to see Blue at her 60th birthday. And so Dollar was kind of upset due to the fact that um, Ralph Angel did not let her know ahead of time. She bought tickets so she won't be with she won't be with Blue this weekend because of that. We also go on and we see that um Ralph Angel and Minnie. Ralph Angel basically is sitting down with Benny and asking him exactly what's happening, and he apologized due to the fact that he didn't stick to what the arrangement was, and it's a good thing Ralph Angel did not fire him. Ralph Angel still let Benny has his job, and the only reason why Ralph Angel is doing it is because he believes in getting people and giving, a second chance because someone basically bet on him. And that's basically really good with Ralph Angel. This year you can see the development in Ralph Angel, and he's doing really, really good. Now, let's get on and talk a little bit more about Aunt Violet. And Violet is, I don't want to say that she's going through the changes and everything, but she's 60 now. You might as well say she's 60 now. And while she was in her youth, she really wasn't able to do the things that she really wanted to do while she was young. And you can see that she's having this conversation with Hollywood. And you can see that there is some things that's going on that's churning in her mind. And so we go on and we see that Nova is basically having a conversation with Percy. No, Percy, I'm sorry. I'm getting my characters mixed up with Nova is having it with Prosper. Yes. I'm thinking about something else. I've got that character mixed up with another character that I do in Pose. With Prosper. And he's talking to Nova about Ernest. And we're finding out that Ernest is basically and was dealing with some dark sides of him when he was basically on the farm. And Prosperous tells Nova the little secrets that was going on with Ernest. Ernest basically was I would say the way he was talking, that he was on his way to have or had a couple of nervous breakdowns due to the fact that he was basically trying to keep the farm going. Um, he was trying to deal with these bourgeois and and Jacob and Sam and all of them trying to, just doing a whole bunch of stuff when it comes to him and his farm. And so he was telling Nova about a situation and that he was glad that he was basically Ernest's friend. And he said the reason why him and Ernest stayed friends so close is because Ernest really trusted him. And so he tells Nova about a night that Ernest called, and Ernest basically had a gun walking into the fields. I believe he said walking into the fields. And it seems that Ernest wanted to take his life. He was kind of down, and I don't want to say down and trodden or anything like that, but there was a lot going on with him when it comes to that farm. And we're going to find out a little bit more. And so we go on, and we are basically at the party, and it was a surprise party. Everybody was basically there, and we have a little surprise. It's because apparently Ralph Angel and the daughter of the fishing farm, I don't know her name, I don't want to mess her name up, but Ralph Angel basically invited her to Violet birthday party, 60th birthday party. Now, I'm thinking he's really, really serious about this girl because he's invited her to the birthday party of Aunt Violet and didn't invite Dollar. And so when Dollar found out about it was at the last minute, and she was basically kind of hurt. And you can actually see, when Ralph Angel told Dollar that you won't be able to have Blue this weekend, it's because he's going to go see his aunt. But in the meantime, he didn't invite Dollar. He invited the young lady that he had the date with. And so everybody is at the party, and she basically comes in. Now, I'm thinking, don't people knock on the doors these days? But then again, I forgot that we're basically in the South. And so she just walked on in. For a moment there, from the back of her, it looks like it could have been, Dollar, but it wasn't. It was her. And so she comes in, and everybody is like really surprised to see her coming to the party. And Ralph Angel and her introduced themselves as what did she call it? Working friends working. And so of course we had all the men basically at the table while she came in, and Ralph Angel, I don't know, Ralph Angel met her and saw that she had came, and everybody was like surprised that Ralph Angel had invited her. And so everybody was like, wow, this is interesting. Everybody's looking, you know how people go, they would get really nosy, wondering, okay, now Hollywood knows about the working friend, and everybody said, well, let's go into the party and see what's going on with these, what's up with the working friend. And everybody was like, they were very, very pleased. I think they really like her. Now, this is when it gets really interesting. Aunt Violet had asked Ralph Angel if he could basically go in and go to the store and get some ice. And he asked her if she wanted to go, and she said no, she didn't want to go. But also, this is when Ralph Angel introduced Blue to his friend, his working friend, his working friend. And at first, Blue was like, "Look, I don't know who this. Hey, who this woman?" This is what Blue had the expression like, "Who this woman? This ain't my mom. This ain't mommy. Who this woman, Dad?" And he didn't really want to say anything, but he kind of like, loosened up a little bit. And apparently it seems that she really liked children also. And so she was able, it's very, very hot, guys, and I got this light on. She was able to loosen up Blue. And so we see Ralph Angel and Blue and the working friend at the store getting ice. And guess who happens to see the working friend along with her son and Ralph Angel? Dollar. And so, of course, you could see when the camera panned and you saw Ralph Angel, and Ralph Angel saw that she saw the working friend. And of course, she wasn't happy about it. She was basically really sad. And so we go on, and let's just talk a little bit about Remy. Hell to the no. I'm gonna tell you hell to the no, Remy. But you keep on insisting and pressing and inching and texting and doing all this stuff. And Nova, knowing how sexual fluid Nova is, she's trying to really, really not step over that boundary. She's really, really trying not to step over that boundary. I'm going to give her that. She's trying not to step over it, but this man, and it seems that every time they get together for the last, I think for the last 3 episodes, they washing dishes, putting away dishes. And here comes Remy. And so at first, Remy was trying to get her to go and dance with him. And she basically turned it down. And I'm glad she did turn it down. And of course, Remy was like upset. This writers, you know, this is not gonna sit right with Charlie, because the reason why I said this is not gonna sit right with Charlie is because while everybody was out there dancing, Charlie, I was like, well, where is Charlie? I don't see Charlie. And basically, Charlie was out there looking at everybody because I believe Remy was in there. And she still has feeling for Remy. And Prosper came in came outside where Charlie was and had a conversation with Charlie and told him that he had 2 wives. His first wife was not of his love. His was not his love. His second wife was. So I don't know what that was, what that was itching or what that was all about, but due to the fact that Prosper noticed that Charlie was kind of like in the party but not of the party. And so we go on and we see Remy and Nova at putting away dishes again. And this time Nova and Remy is standing side by side. And Nova is looking like really nervous. She's like, I don't know what to do. I'm trying not to give in, but hey, the attraction, I noticed, the attraction is getting really heated and hot because, we've used to seeing Noble very sexual. Lately, we ain't seen her hopping in and out of the beds with anyone. And that's why I said beds with anyone. And so we go on. The party is, jumping. And then this is when we find out that Hollywood thanks everybody for basically coming to the party. And then this is when Hollywood introduces Vi to the fact that they are basically going to get married. And he introduces Vi to his middle name, his name. I forgot what his name was. And you could see basically that look on Aunt Violet's face. She was like, um. And so later on in the evening, we go on and we find out that the party is over. Hollywood and Aunt Violet is basically by themselves in the bedroom. Like Hollywood probably thought he was going to, they were going to get together sexually, but they didn't. And so basically, Invite brings in the box, and she brings in the box, and she tells Hollywood, she says, "I know what I want in that box." And this is when we find out that Aunt Violet does not want to take Hollywood's name. And Hollywood got really, really, really upset. Hollywood got up. He got to the fact so upset that he took his pillow and he was like, "Yo, I'm not even gonna sleep or entertain the fact that you don't want to take my last name." Now, before that, Hollywood's mother had basically already told Hollywood that there's nothing that Aunt Violet needs. She has her own house, she has her own business. She's independent. She don't really need you, and she don't really want you to spend his money or anything. So basically, there's nothing. But we already know that when it comes to Hollywood and the grounds that Hollywood walks on, that Aunt Violet and the both of those two are really, really in love with each other. And so when Hollywood found out that she didn't want to take his name, he got upset and he was like, "Oh, hell to the no. Why you want to do this?" And so basically Hollywood came back and had the conversation with his mother. And then this is when his mother told Hollywood, says that it's not that the fact, there's certain things that went on with Aunt Violet before she met you, and it had to do a lot with his. I mean, even though they didn't say this in the storyline, but it had to do with the fact that Aunt Violet was in an abusive relationship, and she had, basically her ex-husband's last name. So I'm assuming this is just my assumption that since she had these bad experiences with, taking her ex-husband's last name, she said to Hollywood, and the mother told Hollywood that this woman loves you, and it ain't about your last name. It is not about that. And you basically will have to understand that. And so basically, Hollywood's mother came to the rescue of Aunt Violet. And so Hollywood got over that. And he went basically back to Aunt Violet and had a conversation and told Aunt Violet, "Look, I understand, what's going on. And yes, I was feeling some kind of way, but I still want to marry you. It don't really matter if you don't want to take my last name. I know that you love me." And so we go on, and then this is when Aunt Violet says, "Look, let's do this wedding, and let's spend some money on this wedding." So they get ready to have a big, big wedding. I'm assuming that that will probably be the final episode, is Aunt Violet and them having their wedding. In the meantime, this is where it's going to get very, very interesting. Now, we know that I had no idea that the woman who was investigating the Landry was a gay woman. I don't know why I didn't really listen to it, but then I listened to it again. Come to find out that she was a queer woman. She was in a queer relationship with another woman. But we find out that the reason why, and this is going to get really hot and heated. The reason why a lot of people, especially the black farmers, are basically losing their land is that these assholes, Jacob and Sam, they have signed a contract with the government to build a private jail on the lands that majority of the black farmers have. Now, what is going to be the kicker here is because we know that the Queen Sugars, the black folks who somewhat have some influence, is not going down, and Charlie then found out. Their land is the last on the totem pole that is basically holding up that contract. So we know that it's some shit getting ready to go down. And when I say some stuff getting ready to go down, I mean they showed last week, they showed scenes of next week. And we know that I hope Noah will go ahead and tell Charlie what's going on with her and Remy. Get that out of the way. So Charlie can basically curse her ass out, get mad at her and everything. So but they got some stuff to get done. Then we also find out with the scene from last week, Michael. The fact that he's getting ready to get his ass into some troubles. But in the meantime, guys, it was pretty good. Everything was basically centered around Aunt Violet turning 60, and the fact that Ralph Angel and Blue's mother and Darla is going to be battling because she wants equal time. And the next time, in the meantime, this is All Things Cheryl. We'll recap a little bit. It's getting ready to they're getting ready to buckle up. And Violet is getting ready to try to go at it on her own with the assistant, because I wasn't quite sure. I kind of thought that this guy was up to something after Aunt Violet was reading that contract and finding out that he wants 60% and only going to give her 40%. And Aunt Violet's like, I'm not really having all of that. I'm not working for somebody to make a off of me, and I'm doing most of y'all the work. And oh, one more thing. It's a little over, but one more thing. Charlie did call the guy who she met when her and Ralph Angel, so they were sitting basically down and having, a slice of pie. So, but in the meantime, I'm going to let this go because it's getting long. Take care, guys. Thank you for coming and, checking out my videos. Please continue. Please click subscribe and share this video. Till next time, till next week, this is All Things Cheryl. Peace and love, and remember, love is for everyone.